I'm
What
fantastic
episode
to be
number?
here. This is
At
14.
Wow.
This is 14.
Isn't that crazy?
I can't believe
you
we've been doing
know?
this for 14.
14 weeks.
14 weeks.
It's like
That's
we've really
insane.
been consistent.
Yeah.
Aleena, our friend Aleena. Yay,
Hello.
Aleena. I'm so excited that she's here. She is also a podcaster, so
Fellow
it's like the pressure's on. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like, okay, like she knows how this works.
I only
Yes.
have like 10 episodes or so. No, I can't do math.
No way.
Maybe like
you know,
17 more on you guys.
Yeah, that's like
You know,
double though.
you know
But
what I mean?
yeah, we're still in the news sector ish, but y'all definitely have like more experience. What made y'all want to start a podcast?
Sarah and I argued a lot
Mm.
at work. We
Mm.
kind of had like
Okay.
our own little podcast, which didn't really even think of it that way. Back when we worked together, we would sit at this little desk and we would argue, and people would kind of chime in and they'd love to hear whatever we were getting into that day. And it kind of now reflecting seemed like a podcast.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it just seemed like a good idea. But Sarah was my second choice.
Whoa.
And she knows
we're
this.
getting the
She
tea.
knows
She knows this.
Yeah.
Who's
Oh,
your
wow.
first choice?
Will was my first
Real?
choice.
And why didn't Will want to?
Will was in between maybe moving away.
Okay.
And so I couldn't get a full commitment from
Right.
him.
Yeah.
And so I said, okay, well, I'm going to do a bunch of episodes with a bunch of different people and see who I like doing it with the most. And then maybe I'll put them all out and people can help me pick who my permanent co-host would be.
Mhm.
And I did the one with Sarah, knowing we had good banter just from working together.
Yeah.
And we had been friends for so many years. And we did the episode, she left, and I went, oh my God.
That's the girl.
That felt
Whoa,
like it.
that's it.
Wow, that's so
Scrap
magical.
all the other auditions.
Oh my God. That's
Yeah.
kind of
Wow.
beautiful. That's poetic,
Yeah.
really.
Beautiful.
That's poetic.
Yeah.
Oh my
Wow.
gosh. Like that's real like backup story. Like because she was second choice, but like she rose to the challenge.
Yes.
Really like
Wow.
rose to the occasion.
Yes.
Love that. Oh,
Yeah.
Shout
that's
out
amazing.
Sarah. Wow.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
And like I was the bio or whatever, like your podcast, you say it's like you guys disagree more than you agree. So it's like, wow, like she really disagreed the best. Like we fought the best.
Yes.
Whoa.
Yes.
That's what a rubric.
That is-
to work
that is-
off of.
that
This
is so
This
huge.
is amazing.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Such nuance.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
wow.
you recently got married,
Yes.
which is fantastic.
I did.
Congratulations.
Thank
I don't
you.
know if
Congrats.
I told you congratulations
Oh no,
yet.
it's okay.
But congratulations.
Marriage
It
is-
looked
marriage
like
is
a
cool.
beautiful wedding.
Thank you.
Looked like a beautiful wedding.
Wedding in Italy.
Wedding
you
in
know?
Italy.
Yeah.
Crazy,
That's
crazy, beautiful
fantastic.
place.
That's
yes.
fantastic. How was that whole experience of like preparing for it and then eventually like actually doing it?
I didn't grow up ever dreaming of a wedding or anything, so
Mhm.
I didn't have tons of direction in terms of what I wanted to do.
Mm.
And I mean, Noelle and I have been together 10 years or something. Yeah, almost
Oh.
11 years. So
Real.
wedding
Yeah.
was not top of mind because we kind of just felt as if we were already on that path.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But and we got engaged during COVID, so we kind of postponed any sort of wedding planning
Sure.
because it was
Mm.
no one was getting married. Everyone was doing quick like elopements and stuff, so
Yeah.
we just postponed it.
Yeah.
And then it dawned on me that we had been engaged for almost 2 years, or we're approaching 2 years. And I'm
Whoa.
like, well, shit,
Yeah.
I
It's
gotta
like,
plan
We
something.
gotta
make
do the
something
thing.
happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. we
So
gotta
I
make something
started in January-ish, kind of looking for venues.
Mm.
Oh yeah, this is where I got to start.
Mhm.
Just get an idea of where we would even want to do it.
happen. Yeah.
Actually, it was 2021. I started thinking about it,
I have
but
to say, yeah, that's a quick turnaround.
yes,
Oof,
Yeah.
that's a quick turnaround.
yeah, and everyone, plans that shit 2-3 years in advance. I
Yeah,
don't even know how.
exactly.
So I started thinking about what I wanted to do, and then I got flustered and postponed it. And then in January, I picked it up again, and I said, okay, let's just start somewhere by figuring out where
Right.
you'd want to do
Mhm.
it. And I knew I wanted to do it somewhere not local because I wanted it to be a full experience
Yeah.
for everyone.
Mm.
And I didn't want everyone to just show up for a day and then leave and then
Right.
have the memory just kind of like the whole day goes by so fast.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I felt as if the memory should be long enough.
Right. You wanted to
Yeah.
make a
Many
memory
days,
out
yeah.
of it. Yeah.
Whoa.
Not just a wedding. Yeah.
So I would say in January I started thinking, okay, Italy is where we want to do it, or
Mm.
just kind of anywhere in Europe. I
Okay.
just got some inspiration, and then we tried to find a wedding planner. So we did have a wedding planner, which huge help.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
got a wedding planner in a country that is very relaxed. So it's almost like you don't have a wedding planner.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
That's interesting.
Yes.
What is like relaxed, like, so they just weren't very quick with the response?
Yes.
Oh, okay,
Yes.
okay,
So,
okay.
you know, the American way is everything
Yeah.
is like super punctual. You respond to emails right away.
Mhm.
You get everything. And an American wedding culture too, you have everything figured out.
Yeah.
No,
but-
you
So
have
far in
your-
advance.
You have your 3 outfits for your wedding
Yeah.
figured out for 9 months, 10,
Right.
whatever.
Right.
You get that when you get your wedding dress. And I sometime so January I started thinking, okay, Italy, but I didn't actually secure a location until about, I don't know, 3 months before
Wow.
the wedding.
Whoa.
Wow.
Whoa.
So I would say like January to, I don't even know. Again with the math.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
again with
Well,
the
again
math.
with the math, but
Alright,
yeah,
January
quick.
to midsummer, I was just flailing around
Yeah.
with
right. It was a blur.
ideas
Yeah.
Ideas.
what I wanted, but nothing to go off
No,
of.
actually,
Right.
yeah. Wow.
I'd say maybe in March or April is when I got a wedding planner.
Mhm.
So
Mm.
again, January to April, flailing. Like,
Flailing.
Yeah.
what was I doing in that
Right.
time besides daydreaming
Just
about
thinking
what it
going
would
through
be
thoughts.
like?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And then when I got the wedding planner, I said, okay, they're gonna
Just
make
do
my
your thing.
life.
And then
Yeah.
they were so
easy.
relaxed.
And
You
they
were
were so
like,
relaxed.
And then I'm a producer and I worked in account. So everything is very, like, you're very type A personality. You have to have everything organized, everything
Mhm.
figured out,
Yeah.
super buttoned up. And I couldn't handle that. So
Mm.
I took over a little bit
Oh,
Wow.
in
okay.
terms of, control. And because I felt when I delegated that,
Mhm.
it just didn't get done.
yeah.
Right.
You know, what kind of table setting do you want? Oh, you tell me. Okay, well, I did put together,
That's not what I asked.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not
Yeah.
that's not the answer to that question.
well, and you are supposed to pick it out, but I put together like a 10-page mood board of specifically what I wanted
Wow.
for the dance floor,
That's thorough.
specifically what
Yeah.
I wanted for the table, specifically what I wanted for the flowers, what I wanted, and then I wrote out a list of
Mhm.
all the things that I wanted to add.
Mm.
And I gave that thinking, okay, now you come back to me with, here's what the
Right.
table's gonna look
Sure.
like.
Yeah.
Here's this.
Plan it.
Yes.
Yeah, plan-
Yes, plan it.
Yes.
And it was like, here's a vendor with a link.
Oh,
And I
Oh,
was
that's
like,
insane.
well, so do you want me to go through
Right.
their inventory
Right.
and pick everything?
Because they didn't even like tell you like, okay, now you pick. They're just like, okay, here it is.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think maybe a more hands-on planner would have picked everything out and done a table setting
Sure,
and said,
right.
here you go. This is what it will look like. But I had to do it
Do
myself.
yourself.
Um,
So, and that's just the European way, or is that like
it's definitely the Italian way.
it's the Italian way?
Yeah, and a good friend of mine got married maybe 2-3 weeks before me,
Mhm.
and I was venting about just how relaxed they are, and she said, Dude, this is a real thing. I didn't talk to half the vendors for my wedding until a week before. They wouldn't even pick up the phone. She said, so they are very delayed,
Wow.
Whoa.
but they show up and they know what they're doing. So
Right.
Oh, okay.
It's a
don't
lot of
worry.
trust.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of trust. Like, even this has absolutely really no relation to what we're talking about. But when I was in Italy, which I took like a little backpacking trip at the exact
Yes.
same time as
At the
this
exact
wedding,
time,
so
yeah.
that was cute. That was cute. But it like even just the small thing of like you pay for your food
Yeah.
after you eat it. It's like, damn, they really just
Oh.
like trust everybody
They
to
trust.
just do what they need to do
Yeah.
at the time that they need to. Like in America, it's like, no, you pay me right away.
Right,
Or,
you have to
like,
pay before
you know
because
what
I don't
mean?
trust you to actually come back and do
Right?
it. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
That's really interesting. So I feel like planning wise, that was probably like a little annoying.
Yes.
But execution wise, how did that turn out?
Yeah, do you feel like it was?
I mean, it was beautiful, and I definitely had to relinquish some of my control.
Yeah.
You know, I going into it, I said, don't expect anything to be perfect. Don't expect anything to be even half of what you expect, because
Mhm.
clearly they don't have all of this,
Yeah.
you know, the way you're envisioning it. Just so I wasn't gonna be bridezilla or anything. Just
Right.
relax. It turned out really good, but I will say it required a lot of hand holding on our part.
really
You know, a lot of orchestration on our part.
really
So
wow.
yeah, the family kind of and friends had to get involved on the day of in terms of pull in all the strings to get everything and get everywhere where they needed to be. But that shouldn't have been the case, but it was, because they were trying to make sure we didn't have to deal with it. But I think I hear, I mean, there's a lot of hiccups with weddings and a lot of really awkward stuff that happens. And there wasn't any of that really with ours. Like, there were a couple things that happened, and I went, oh God, this is so embarrassing. And then I went, okay, no. This is nothing. And then when you compare that to other stories of what actually happens, you know, like phones going off during the wedding, people not following dress codes, things like that. None of that happened.
That's good.
There was a really funny moment. We did for the cake ceremony, you know, the violinist that we got said, okay, well, I'll stay to do an extra song for you guys.
Wow, that's so sweet.
And so pick a song, and okay, well, what do people pick for this?
What?
You know,
Damn.
Like Cake by the Ocean, Maroon 5 Cake. I'm like, God, these songs suck. I don't want to do any of these songs. Whoa. And I'm like, what do I do? And so I think I had seen one person did use knife talk, and I was like, oh, that's really smart. We're going to do that.
That was so not what I was expecting.
You really like put the water down, like you.
Oh my
I want to hear that. I want to hear and on violin.
Yes.
Wow.
So actually, if you listen to Knife Talk, there's a really subtle violin over the whole song. So I said, okay, just have her play that.
Wow. I have not heard the violin portion of Knife Talk.
Yeah.
Shout out to the violin portion of Knife Talk.
So the wedding planner says, do you want us to... So we got a very traditional Italian cake. I won't butcher the name, but it's
an
layered
Italian cake?
pastry with cream and berries, and it's just a few layers.
Lovely. Wow.
So she said, and it's very pretty and it's very traditional for them to make it in front of you. So she said, do you want him to make it? And then you guys come up, or do you want him to make it in front of everyone? I'm like, oh, he definitely has to make it in front of everyone. That's part of the whole tradition.
Yeah.
So the song comes on, and everyone's waiting for us upstairs. Obviously, no one knew any of this. And Noelle gets a ski mask and puts that on, and we walk up to that song, and then we get up there. And like, you know, the song, you need the knife, you gotta cut the cake. The cake's not ready.
Oh,
okay. Yes,
of course.
Yes, it's being made.
Yeah.
So the song ends, but it was a great entrance.
Yeah.
Hilarious. Everyone was laughing.
That
I'm
is
sure half my family didn't even understand.
Of course. Yeah, no, absolutely.
So iconic.
And then the song ends, and I think she plays it again.
Queen.
Wow.
Wow. No,
Really
she was
saying
real.
that.
She was real as
The
fuck for
song
that.
is ending. What do we do now? Actually, I don't even remember what happened, but then the cake is being made, and I think it just played again. And then we cut the cake. It was fine.
Yeah.
But
But
what a cute little.
If I was maybe trying to be a perfectionist, that would have really
That would
bothered
have been a
me,
mistake,
and that
but-
would have been like,
Yeah.
But everyone kind of laughed it off, and
Yeah.
Noelle was like, "Oh, cool. What are we gonna do about the song now?"
I love the way that you approach this entire, and even the execution. It really sounds like art in the way that you did it all, planned it all, and thought about it, and then while it's all happening, it's like, oh, things might not go perfectly, but the show must go on, kind of, you know, because there's been plenty of times I feel like I've been performing in a musical, and it was like something was supposed to happen, and it didn't, and then you kind of like look at whoever's doing the like orchestrating, and you're like, well, we're just gonna have to run that part back, you're just gonna have to play that run over and over again until we're ready to all sing it, you know, and it kind of sounds like a very similar situation.
And at the end of the day, the audience still enjoyed the probably didn't even notice, and like had a good memory, and like
it's interesting because it's how you play it is really the determination of it. People know. If you start screaming at them for doing that, then everyone's gonna feel uncomfortable. I mean,
but it's like all about in theater you say it's all about like reactions. Like it's not necessarily about the mistakes. It's about how you react to the mistakes, and then how you go forward from that. And it sounds like it worked excellent. You know what I'm saying? So
wait, you sing?
I do sing a little bit, yes. Not as often in recent years, but
What's your favorite song to sing?
My favorite song, musical theater wise, or like
I
just
don't know
in
anything
general?
about me. I really don't like musicals.
Wow, and that's real. That's and that's real. I don't fault anybody for not liking musicals anymore. There was a point in time in my life when I was a very annoying
Would have
theater
went to
kid.
bat, yeah.
And I was like, no, you just like haven't listened to the right one. Now that I'm an adult and I am grown, I can very much recognize that musical theater can
so
be
annoying.
incredibly
Yeah, I
annoying,
really, I
intensely
was also a
annoying.
musical theater kid, and I have like relinquished. Like, I actively don't like musicals.
Yeah.
I didn't really like it at the time, but I do like attention, and like I could sing. So it was like, okay, well, I'm gonna do this because it gets me the most attention. It's
Yes.
like, you know, like acting is subjective, and doing like a straight play, it's like, oh, like people think I'm good, people think I'm not, whatever. But
Yeah.
like, if you can sing, you can sing. If you can't, you can't. And that was like guaranteed attention.
Right.
Like people were like, oh, like so good. Like,
Yes.
yeah. And that's what I needed at that time.
Yeah, that's
And that's what they want still, and that's why they're all so annoying. And just admit it.
Yeah, just admit it. You know what I'm
So-
saying? If you're grown and still like acting like a high school theater kid, you've got to chill.
You've got to chill.
You've got to
It's a
relax.
very subjective thing to like or not. It's just like if
Right.
you don't
It
like
is.
comedy movies, you don't
Right.
like comedy
You just
movies.
don't.
It's a
So
different
like,
genre.
stop trying to force people to be
Right.
into it. You know what I'm saying?
But I
Because-
like singing.
Yeah.
I won't sing, but I
Real.
like listening.
Can
to
you sing,
singing.
or you just won't?
Oh no, I can't
Amazing.
sing.
Can you not sing, or do you just think that you cannot sing?
No, I cannot sing.
Okay,
It's been
okay.
I
proven.
cannot
It's been
sing.
proven.
I'm not on beat. I can't dance. I like can dance. I can dance.
Yeah, you can dance.
but it's usually offbeat. It's usually offbeat. Yeah.
I feel like I kind of learned when I was in school that anybody can sing with the right training and technique.
Oh,
that's
You know
not what I
I'm
learned.
saying?
I am under the belief that, you know,
You did not. Okay.
anyone can learn to kind of like hold a tune, maybe.
Hold it. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like, that's not, you know, being. a
I'm
good
not
singer, you know
saying
what I mean?
everybody can be Adele, but
Right.
you
Yeah.
can learn to like sing of an easier song, like quote unquote, like on stage with the right and
Ah.
proper technique.
I could
and-
sing in a chorus for sure.
In a-
sure.
yeah, you know,
do your
like in a
part, yeah.
choir, yeah.
But it's not your
Just
passion, you
whisper.
know. Why are you gonna, you know?
Yeah,
it takes
why
a lot
waste-
of work.
Music is very difficult. It's a lot. I prefer acting in plays because I am like a theater guy. So
Yeah,
like I
yeah.
prefer acting in plays,
Uh,
but I prefer watching musicals.
I see.
Well, I guess it
No.
really depends on the
Okay,
musical,
yeah,
actually.
no,
Now that I
anyway.
think about it. No, that's not actually true.
I was gonna
Yeah,
say.
because I do love like some plays, yeah. But I love a lot of plays actually now that I think about it. That actually might not be true at all. Okay, completely backtrack
Were
on
you
all
No,
of that.
were you a theater kid at all? Like growing up, like what did you
No.
do in school?
I did. Well, I was a runner. I did track and field,
Wow.
Okay.
but I got injured, so
Mm,
I just was like
Pretty
maybe
badly?
sports. I just fractured my ankle.
Oh, that's
Wow,
that's pretty
that's
bad.
Um,
that's bad.
I don't think I did it during running though. I think I did it playing soccer in the front of my house. Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Did you play
Yeah.
soccer like as
I
well?
did as a child,
Wow.
but I like to say that I'm still a soccer athlete.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
real.
yeah. I think
That's real.
AYSO transcends to adulthood.
Yeah.
actually does.
You still
It does.
playing in like leagues? Are you looking for leagues to play?
I'm
in?
constantly asking about leagues
Yeah.
just
Really?
to stay in the community.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, but
Do we know any leagues, Isaiah?
We're trying to figure it
Jacques
out.
was trying to get a league.
yeah,
too.
yeah, I think he started it without me, to be honest.
What?
No, he's just been talking about it, and I
He's
never
just been
got an
talking about it.
invite, and
He
so
never.
I
Just been
assumed
talking.
it happened
there's-
without me.
There hasn't been
Because
one
if he
day.
started it, if he
Okay.
started it already and I'm not in it, then I'm
Yeah,
gonna
there
be a
hasn't
little
been one
upset.
day.
Okay.
He is
There
a little
hasn't been a
gatekeepy
game.
about it. He keeps saying it has to be like you have to be really good.
He's saying that?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I said,
I said, okay.
I was an athlete. So.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was
Yes.
literally an
Yes. You're
athlete.
an
Yeah.
athlete. Literally, this is
You
like
are
what
an
you do.
athlete,
Yes.
Yeah. That's real. That's
Okay,
real.
wow.
Yeah. We need to figure out about the league though, because we went to the cup final for the MLS. Cassius
yeah,
was
yeah.
there too,
Mhm.
and
Shout out Cassius.
it was a fantastic game. It was probably like one of the best MLS games. They were saying it's like the best MLS game that's ever been played.
Wow.
I've
Because it
been
like really
hearing, yeah.
like raised the bar for the sport, because American soccer, you know, very different than, you know, like European football. It's like, you know, they talent wise, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying, very different.
Yeah.
So, you know, but this game was like, it played the way that they were all like really in it, the technique that was shown in it, it was
Wow.
like very high level.
Wow.
So and
What do you
right
think is
before
the craziest move? I think it's when they headbutt the ball.
That is
Yes.
crazy. Like
Yeah.
what
You're
That
gonna
happened.
jump up and your head is gonna somehow hit the
Something that's already
size-
moving.
Yeah.
and it's the size of your head.
That was the
What if
final
you're
goal.
off? What if you're off? What if you
Right.
jump up and it goes past you?
Right.
Right.
Kill
Sometimes
yourself.
that happens.
Right.
You have to,
Yeah,
you have to
no,
die.
you
You have
have
to
to
die
literally
because you're
die.
like up
That's
there and you're
so
like, only the
humiliating.
people on the video will see this, but
That's
you go
so
like,
humiliating.
you know, and it's like, oh
Yeah,
man,
I
that's
would miss for
embarrassing.
sure.
Yeah,
That's really
absolutely.
embarrassing. That was actually, that's like a defender's job. That's what I did when I played soccer. So I was like, I was pretty good at headers.
Okay, what
you know what I'm saying?
age did you play? Were you
I played-
AYSO age or
I don't know what those are, so I wasn't doing that.
American Youth Soccer Association? You were definitely little.
I was in middle school when I played, but it was
Oh,
like
okay.
the YMCA or something. It certainly wasn't like any professional leagues, and it wasn't my high school. Was not my high school, so it was very small.
Oh my god, you said YMCA and I just got so sad.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wait,
yeah.
why?
Because my mom, okay.
Yeah.
I was
Sorry, she's
maybe-
getting
I was
choked
maybe-
up.
I was
Wow,
maybe
she's so sad.
13 years old, and I was getting to the age where you couldn't really be left alone during the summer. So my mom
Yeah.
said, okay, you got to go to the Boys and Girls Club, which is
Yeah.
kind of like the YMCA.
Yeah.
YMCA.
And so I said no. And the whole thing started because every summer my mom would send me back to England to stay with my family
Oh.
Wow.
as my daycare because
Sure.
she was working and she, so it was either you go to some sort of daycare or you go back to England. Well, obviously England sounds way
Yeah.
cooler.
Yeah.
So I went back. That's where I would spend my time. And then when I got to a certain age, I was like, well, England sucks. I love it here.
Wow.
Wow.
Because
Wow.
I think I
Real.
had discovered Hollywood and like all my
Mhm.
cousins thought I was really cool and that I saw
Yeah.
Jennifer Aniston every day.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
hard.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's really
That
cool.
they do think
And
that.
so
yeah.
I said, I'm staying here. And so my mom said, okay, well, you got to go to the Boys and Girls Club. And
Yeah.
I was like, no, I can stay at home alone. I can
Yeah.
watch
Yeah.
myself. She said, no, you have to go. I said, okay. So she takes me and I'm like 13 years old, holding onto the sides of the car door. Like, I will not go
Wow.
Oh my
in there.
God.
I won't go in
Holding
there.
your ground.
That is so.
She said,
funny.
please, I really need you to go. I really need you to go. So I go in and I just, in general, I was always like alone and I didn't gravitate towards big friend groups or anything.
Yeah.
And so I tried to awkwardly mingle with some people that I knew in school,
Mhm.
but I really didn't fit in. So I just kind of sat by myself. Or I was doing, when you did that thing where maybe you still do it, where you just find ways to kill time.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm busy. I'm going to go grab a napkin.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's going to take me 5 minutes to do
Extremely
that.
normal
Yes.
behaviors to
Yeah.
do. Like,
Yeah.
ooh.
Yeah. How can I kill the time, but
Yeah.
also make it look like I'm busy here
Right,
at
in
the
case
YMCA?
anyone's watching.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
so I'm not alone. I'm
just busy.
doing
I'm just busy.
things
I don't
Yeah,
have
I'm just
time for
doing
you
things.
guys.
people
I
need
have
to do.
Yeah.
Sharpen my pencil.
That's
yeah.
what I did. I went to the vending machines and I would just there and then I'd be like, oh,
Oh.
I'm getting my money. Money didn't exist. Didn't have any money in my wallet. But I was like, oh, I'm getting it. Oh, I'm figuring it out. I'm
Yeah, yeah,
figuring
yeah.
out how to,
really
you know,
extending these
really
actions.
get this.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
you know
I
what
would
I'm
do the
saying?
exact same.
And then
Yes.
eventually, if somebody did get me something, then I would spend the time drinking that. And I would be like, everybody sees me doing
Sorry,
that.
I'm busy drinking.
I'm busy
my,
drinking
my
this.
soda.
you
Yeah.
know, I can't play.
Yeah.
Because I'm busy drinking.
Mhm.
You know
Yes.
what I'm saying? So,
Yes.
but the why? So was it it wasn't a good experience then?
Yeah, so I was alone and then when my mom picked me up, I was crying and I said I never want to go back there again.
You just
I
made it
was-
one day.
Yeah, my mom said, okay, clearly you had enough. You
Yeah.
can stay home alone,
Mm-hmm.
but you got to be good.
Oh,
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, I had to. There was like a period of time when my mom had a job that wasn't working from home, so I had to do kids campus, which is just like an after school thing, whatever. And
Yeah.
like, I do understand the fact that like kids need to get energy out and like play sports, like that's like kind of what they should be doing.
Yeah.
But like I hated doing that,
Mm.
and so like I would protest literally every time I played kickball because I didn't like kickball. I would always
Mm.
get injured.
Wow.
And it was scary. I didn't understand the rules. I felt a lot of pressure. And they literally like wrote me up like for not wanting to play kickball, which is like, what are you teaching these kids? That like
Right.
I don't have free will. Like I'm not playing kickball. I'm not playing kickball.
Mm.
I'll do something else enriching. I want
Yeah.
to be enriched, but I'm not doing this.
They wouldn't let you read?
No.
Oh,
and
that's
I
sick.
love to read. I love to like with my
Well,
Motorola
but
Razor,
PE
like
is a thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have
But
to
it's
do
like
it.
this
But
is
this
not
wasn't
school.
PE
This
class.
is after school.
This is
Like
after school.
come on,
You
give
can
me a
get
break.
written up in
Yeah,
after school.
and then they would tell my mom, and she was like, yeah, "I don't care. Like, I don't care. She should read. Like, yeah,
That's insane.
thrice.
That's cute.
Thrice
that
I
you
got in
wanted to
trouble.
read.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love. Used to love reading.
I
Yeah.
used to love reading as well. What happened to that?
Probably
What
just
happened to that?
school, you know what I mean?
School.
And like,
Who has time?
Who has
right.
time? That's my question.
I just feel like my thing is when I'm watching something, I could be doing other things also at the same time, but
Right.
reading, like, I cannot
Yeah.
be.
Yes,
So it's like,
exactly.
it feels like I'm wasting time,
If
which
you're
is
gonna
not
have
the
a
case.
couple hours of uninterrupted time, it should be sleep.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
a very good point, and I really do like observe my rest. You know, I'm sleeping a lot lately, which I need to start doing more stuff though. So maybe I do need to, like, you know,
Yeah.
like because a lot of the times I'm like, you know what, I could take a nap right now. I think I'm just gonna do it.
Yeah.
And then I'm kind of realizing that I'm
Mhm.
spending a lot of my day sleeping.
Yeah.
You
I've been going to
know,
bed early. Yeah, we gotta like do more stuff.
Yeah, you need to like
Huh.
get out more.
How many
you know what
hours
I'm
you
saying?
talking?
So I'll sleep from like I'll go to bed at like let's say I go to bed at midnight. I will lay in bed. I'll wake up around 9 a.m., but I'll lay in bed till like 11.
Mm.
And then I'll do some work. I'll get some work done. It's like 2 o'clock. I'm like, well, time to take a nap. So I have in total now like been in my bed for at least 11 hours.
Yeah.
And then I'm going back to take another 2-hour nap. And, you know, in
Yeah.
between that, and I'm going to be, you know, smoking weed. So of course I'm under the like influence of drugs, but it's like, it's sleepy time drugs. So
Yeah,
I'm like
yeah,
immediately like
Right.
going to bed. It's like,
Yeah, there's such a thing as too much sleep.
There's
It'll make
such a
you want to
thing.
sleep more, you know?
Yeah.
Beat yourself up for
Hmm?
not getting enough done in a day, or do you not care?
I mean, I still get what I need done. The problem is my job is not very demanding. That's the problem. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I make videos and then it's like,
It's like,
well,
what else?
now I
You
gotta
know,
like,
because like
yeah.
we have all these like external projects that like we can be working on.
Right. Yes.
It's like, but then it's like fully self-driven.
yeah,
So-
exactly.
And that we don't see anything from right away.
Exactly.
So it's like, yeah, really staying
And I'm
awake to
having
do
a
those
weird thing
things.
with like fiction, and I feel like that's probably the reason why I'm not like reading as much. I used to be able to throw myself into a story. I'm reading this book. I'm like, wow, like I'm really feeling this. I'm really into this. I can't do that anymore. You know, I'm having a hard time like suspending my disbelief, I guess, and I'm just like, well, this is not real. You know, I'm like, this is not actually happening, and
Yeah.
I'm like, so what's it? And it's like, I don't know how to get over that. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I don't know how to get to that next hump of like, what do I watch? You know what I'm saying? Like I'm watching two things right now. I'm watching Atlanta and Abbott Elementary. And
Great shows.
that's great, fantastic shows. They're
Yeah.
really like, they're spectacular. But I'm like, the idea of starting another show, I can't.
Mhm.
There's
that
nothing that's like,
exhilarates me
really
Like
starting
starting a new
another
show?
show? How many
Yeah.
shows are you watching right now?
right now.
I watch one at a time. I like
Jeez.
really like
Really?
invest myself in a show. Yeah.
I'm also like half done on some shows that I could pick back up at any point. So I would say maybe like 6 shows or something.
Wow. And
What?
are they all like fiction shows, or are some of them like they're reality shows, or like
No
they're-
reality.
Wow, they're all fiction. Like,
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
That's
a
so
big reality
interesting.
person.
I'm
I
a
love
huge
that
reality
you
person.
say fiction. Like that to me growing up was the epitome of smart. Like
Mm,
is fiction, nonfiction,
fiction,
Fiction,
nonfiction.
nonfiction.
referring to
Yes.
life that
Mhm.
way.
Yeah.
Because I would go, that was just, you know, there's some things that are just really hard for you to pick up, like dumb words
Mhm.
Yeah.
that you're just like, this is so easy, I should be able-"
Right. Right.
But it would like mess up my brain every time I would hear fiction, nonfiction. I go, oh,
Mm.
okay.
Which is which?
Which is-
fake, not fake. Okay, that's
I
how
also
that's
Wow.
how
I
I do
also
it.
did the fake, not fake, like whatever word
Interesting.
device.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever did that. No, I think I really like. I
You
heard
got-
fiction.
you got
I got
it from-
fiction. No, there were plenty, but I know exactly what you're talking about though, because I can't think of the words because I feel like I blocked them out of my head because they made me so upset. Like there were words that I was like, I cannot get the vibe of what I'm like supposed to be getting. here.
Yes,
You know what I'm saying?
yes.
It happened a lot of times in math too, but like English is English. There was some words where I was like, I don't know. What are we doing here, guys? Because like I
Yeah,
don't
what
get
are
what
we
that
doing?
means.
What are
You
we
know
doing
what I'm
here?
saying? Like I don't get what that means. I don't get what that applies to. You know what? I had that same problem with effect versus effect, E and A, and I still have that problem where I'm like, where exactly is this make sense? And like as soon as I start to think about it too much, my brain starts to go like, ugh.
Yeah, I can't think about the word extraordinary too much. It's like
Mm.
extraordinary, and it's like
That's how I think of that
what's-
too. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
So it's
Extraordinary.
like mid, like, but
Yeah.
Like if you're extraordinary, that's like a roast. But
That's
why are we
such a good
like? I really
point.
can't think about that word.
Oh
Yeah.
wow, I never even like broke down that word.
Like you're
actually.
extraordinary.
You're extraordinary. That should
You
be an
just called me
insult.
mid.
Yeah.
I think it's like, not to like interrupt, but like
Please.
I think it's like
Extra.
the word extraterrestrial. It's like beyond terrestrial, so it's like
Beyond.
beyond ordinary.
Because extra is a what's the word? It's a
Prefix?
It's a prefix, and extra. The prefix means
it's like
I think it
beyond-
means
more
beyond.
than beyond
more than or something of
It's
the
just
sort.
funny because now we
Yeah.
use it as you're being so extra.
You're being so
Yeah,
extra.
yeah.
Or like, I want some extra fries, please. Becky, I don't know. It's very
extra large fries.
Love French fries. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. That it. Speaking of that, prefixes that are actual words piss me off too. Like extra being a prefix to start
That's
a word
fucked.
is fucked up.
Like we just combined 2 words. to
Yeah,
me,
yeah.
Personally.
It's fucked up. It's fucked up. I like it when it's like a little bit like I can't think of any that are just
Like
yeah,
non-fiction. Like I'm not
non.
using non. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm not using non ever. You know what I'm saying? But English is like one of the most confusing languages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really
You know what
is.
I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
every other language is, and I kind of wish that I learned a better language, quote unquote, a better language when I was
Yeah,
younger.
I keep trying to learn languages. You know, like I start the Duolingo thing for like a little bit, and I can't really.
Yeah.
It does get hard, and then I realize like how long it's gonna take, and then I like quit because I'm like, okay, well, I could be doing something else more immediately productive.
Right.
And I wonder because that's like kind of like what you were talking about with like starting new shows and like reading. We all like feel like we're not being productive.
Yeah.
Do you think that like that is gonna go away once we're not broke anymore? Because I truly feel like I want to be productive because like I'm not in a financial place where like I can just be comfortable. Like
Damn.
if I'm like chilling, like I'm doing something wrong because then
'Cause I should
like
be making
the
money.
next day I'm gonna have to pay a bill and I'm gonna like throw up. You know what I mean? It's like,
Right.
but maybe once I'm like rich, it's like, oh, I'm not gonna feel this like weird productivity.
Damn, like
drive.
maybe the reason why it's like maybe the reason why we felt so comfortable was because when we were kids we didn't have responsibility.
Right.
So
Like
it
I
was
could read
like-
all the time. Like that's was
Yes.
productive. And literally, like, I mean, yeah, Aleena's watching 6 shows. Like that's like
6
she's
shows.
doing it. Like I'm
Yeah,
just
yeah,
like
yeah.
not watching shows because I feel like I don't have the time. But like Aleena's got 6 shows. Like, come on. Like you eventually
And
are.
you know, before I lived in Los Angeles, when I was very like comfortably living, I was watching a whole bunch of shit. I was watching Survivor like every day.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I need to get back to that.
Yeah,
also.
there was also a mental shift for me, like moving from Nebraska. Because in
Yeah.
Nebraska, like what I was doing was already like a lot. Like I knew I was gonna move to LA, and so like everything I was doing,
Was
like I was like already doing a lot. You
Right,
know what
yeah,
I mean? Like
sure.
for,
Yeah.
but then suddenly moving to LA, it's like I could always be doing more.
Right,
Because like
exactly.
somebody out there is like
Yeah.
doing more than me or better than
So
me.
you lived in LA from your whole life? Or
Yeah, pretty
England,
much.
LA?
Yeah, I lived in England, then I moved to Ventura,
Ventura?
which is just right outside LA. It's the next county
What's it
over.
like?
It's very racist.
Oh,
Whoa.
I grew up in a very I grew up in Simi Valley. Have you heard of Simi
yes,
Valley?
I've heard. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I understand.
That's
what
where I
Simi
grew
Valley's
up.
like.
Yep,
Okay.
yep.
And so yeah, I grew up not really like embracing my culture or any of who I was because I was around
Just around only white people.
only
Yeah,
white
like,
that's,
people.
like,
I was
me
never
too, yeah.
anyone's crush. No one was. Yeah, it was.
Wow,
I was never.
same.
So
Yeah, that sucks.
Until-
doesn't it?
growing up and realizing like, oh, I'm actually like
I'm actually pretty.
pretty
Yeah.
Yeah.
and attractive,
And I
Yeah.
don't look like Mia Khalifa just because of literally where my family's from. Like,
Yeah.
but end of high school
Yeah.
really changed a lot of things for me. It
Yeah.
was like, oh,
Whoa.
all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody really talks about that, like like growing up not being white and not being looked at by
Yeah, and then
others,
realizing
by
it's
your
like
peers.
fucking cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like growing up and wishing I was white
Yeah.
and wishing I had all of that and then
Mm-hmm.
realizing but then it's still shitty, you know.
It's still
Yeah.
shitty.
It's a little better. I obviously am much more proud of who I am now
Right.
than when I lived there. But you still do
The beauty standard is still what it
Yes.
is.
Yeah,
And it's like
yeah.
really pervasive
Yeah.
and like it's
the
ingrained in
industry
everything.
is still
But it
Yeah.
sucks that we can't just like be okay. You know, like it's
I
just
know.
like oh, you just do whatever. We could just do like because I feel like white people definitely do have that ability to be like, well, they know that things are not perfect in the world, but it's like, well,
You're
I'm
like, oh,
I'm-
what am I gonna do?
Yeah,
about
what
it?
am I gonna
Yeah,
do?
yeah, yeah.
The ability to kind of like just sit back but it's like, I feel like whenever we think about culture and like, oh, how are we affected? It's like, how am I affecting my culture? Am I doing right by my culture?
Yeah.
Right. Am I
doing right by
shitty
the
for
culture?
feeling bad? Like most,
Yes.
I've come to terms with, all my different ethnicities and stuff like
Yeah.
now, but there's still some days when I'm like, damn, like
Should I be
it'd be
doing more?
easier for me if I like didn't look this exact way, or like if I looked
Yeah.
more this way,
Yeah.
then it'd be easier
Yeah.
because then I look even more like what,
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
white people don't really have to like ever even consider like, do I look enough of this or not enough of this?
Right,
Yeah.
Like,
Or are
exactly.
you not getting the same opportunities as
yeah,
other people?
it'll always be like an inkling. It's like, is this why?
Is this
Yeah.
why? Yeah. And the
And-
sad part is most often
Yeah,
it is.
especially
Yeah.
in the influencer space, it's so much
Especially in the
easier to take
influencer
off.
space,
It's
yeah.
just like
Yeah.
a conventionally attractive white person. Like,
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
is so, yeah, which is what it is, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that's definitely something that like we've grappled with since like getting to California,
Yeah.
especially. Like,
Yeah.
just kind of recognizing like, damn, this shit never goes away. Cause I kind of thought
No.
when I was a kid that I was like, okay, at some point.
Isn't it crazy? Like, it's way better here. Imagine if you lived anywhere else. Like,
still, yeah,
Right.
yeah, and we did,
And we did. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it's like in South Carolina now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, it's just like, it's just so, that's why like I could not live there. Like growing
Yeah.
up there,
Yeah.
I'm like, I look back at my childhood now and I'm like, I enjoyed growing up there. Actually, my childhood was fine. I had I mean, it wasn't.
but
a
maybe
good childhood.
adult you, if you were to observe some of the things that happened.
Right.
It's like, oh, that's
like,
pretty
look
fucked
back, I'm
up.
like, oh
Really
wait,
fucked
that
up.
was like really fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it definitely did like fuck me up, like being a kid and like not being liked by people, like having crushes on people. That's like a very regular child thing
Yeah.
to do, and then for no one to like you
no
back.
one to
Yeah.
like.
And then you
yeah.
ask why, and then they're like, I like a white person.
Yeah.
And it's like you hear that constantly
Mhm.
over and
Mhm.
over and over again. It's like,
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. And it's very hard when you grow up in a predominantly white neighborhood.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or like
Yeah.
a predominantly white school. Because I
Yeah.
feel like, if I had went to a school with a lot more black people, that would have not happened
Yeah.
as much because that we were all we had, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying, in
Mhm.
that area. But, for me, it was like all of my friends were white and there was like 5 black people. So it was like, of course I'm gonna like whoever is around me, and then that
Mhm.
like affects me.
When you
both
want
ways.
validation and
Right.
approval from everyone.
Exactly.
But your question, sorry, was how long I've lived here. So probably, yeah,
Yeah,
basically my whole
your
life,
whole
I
life.
would
Wow.
say. But back to your guys' point about, so what's interesting is actually when I had a corporate job
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't work for myself, basically, I would watch way more shows.
Hmm.
Really?
Yes, because I think I felt fulfilled, like I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing
Yeah.
at my 9 to 5. So my free time, I can do whatever the hell
That's such
I
a good
want.
point. The 9 to
So
5
I
thing.
would binge watch. Like now I get frustrated because my 3 shows, that I watch in a week
Mhm.
are not enough in comparison to what I used to watch. Now
Wow.
I was asking, if you ever feel guilty. I'm always like, I need to wake up at 5 in the morning and I need to be like doing shit all day
Yeah.
because when you work for yourself, you feel like every hour that you don't do anything.
Is wasted.
Is wasted.
Is
You have something to
wasted.
prove,
Yes.
because like
Yeah,
you're
and
your
you have
own
more
boss.
to prove
Yeah.
because you don't have this like corporate job
structure,
that you're
yeah.
doing,
Yeah.
Dang,
And
so the 9 to 5 is huge.
Yeah.
That's
so
actually
I
so
would
true.
actually, it was the inverse for me. I would watch tons and tons of movies and shows. Basically, that's what I would do
Mhm.
my whole evening and my weekends. And now I feel guilty even turning on the TV.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like I have to basically and mentally I have to do a ton of stuff that I need to do in the day, and then I allow myself. It's like I'm my own parent,
Mm.
Yeah.
and I allow myself time to sit down and relax and watch TV.
Yeah.
Oh,
So it's
jeez.
probably not even like a how much money you have thing. It's just where your money's coming from. And
Yes,
it's like if
and
the
how
money
you
is
get
coming
it.
from yourself, it's like, okay, there's always that like voice in your head
Yeah,
that's like,
'cause
okay,
if I
let's
if
do
I
it.
sit down and watch the show for 6 hours,
I'm not.
I'm
I wasn't
hurting
doing
6
XYZ.
hours of my own work and productivity. And that's something that Noelle and I have to really like. We will work up until 11:30,
Mhm.
and we don't even get to really talk about most of the stuff that happens in a day.
Mm.
And we have had to say, okay, we need to turn stuff off by this time
Mhm.
Mm.
because otherwise we'll just keep going.
Yeah.
And like right up until bed, what about this, what's going on with this, and then so much time is has passed that you don't even relax.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you guys have heard about like buying back your own time, where
Yeah.
you know, you basically, if you work so much or you do so much of something and you stay up really late at night, like watching TV or whatever you like to do, it's your way of trying to buy back time because you feel like you didn't get to relax, you didn't get to do those
Gotcha.
things. And so we would stay up till like 1 or 2 in the morning trying to like decompress and relax and maybe watch a show because we didn't get to do that during the day. We
Sure.
didn't get any time for ourselves.
Yeah.
And then it's just a cycle because then you wake up late and then you start your day off late.
And then you feel like you have to be overproductive
Yes.
because you woke up late, and then it's like, okay, the whole cycle starts again.
So
Wow.
how do we break that though? Because I kind of want to watch shows.
I know, just
I want to watch
chill.
shows. I want to be able to enjoy video games again. Yeah, I want to maybe read or
I
something.
do. I mean, this has nothing to do with me because it was entirely planned by someone else. But I do really like the fact that like Prance has set up a schedule for us to film,
Yes.
like every Tuesday at 3 p.m.
Yeah.
Like we meet.
I
up
think you just need to
somewhere.
have goals for the week or
Yeah.
for the day, you know, or I want to make this many videos this week. I want to do my podcast and another, you know, video or whatever. Or I want to work out 5 times. Like you
Yeah.
set your own things, and as long as you do those things, then you can enjoy what you need to enjoy. I mean, I wish it wasn't that way. I wish it was just I do whatever I want, whatever I
Right.
want,
Right. And
and
stuff
I
gets
just
done.
enjoy
Yeah.
it.
Right.
But yeah, I think too, yeah, how you grew up, you know, I definitely grew up doing a lot of chores and stuff. So
Yeah.
that's like programmed, like, all right, vacuum the floor, do the dishes, do this work,
Mm-hmm.
walk Ollie, like do this,
Yeah.
and then you can sit down and relax. So it's like I don't
Mm.
have anyone telling me to do that. I'm telling myself to
Yeah.
do that. Like,
Yeah.
fuck off,
Right.
Aleena.
Absolutely. Yeah. Wow. And then to be planning a wedding on top of that because your wedding planner is a little bit too relaxed. It's like,
Yeah.
damn, we don't have
Yes.
time in this.
We
in the
do
day
not
for
have
this.
time for this. Yeah,
Yes.
you know what I'm
It does.
saying?
It does help to maybe like not have to worry about the money aspect because that's another thing. Like I also have never been like a wedding person. Like I never had a Pinterest board growing up. Like I have not thought about my wedding. I know it's far in the future and. But it's like I do feel like I'm at a disadvantage because it's like, okay, not only have I not like thought about any of this, but also like I definitely have to be in a financial place where like
Yes.
then I can just do what I want without
Yeah.
having to worry about it. It's
Yeah.
like because this is like a huge day.
Yeah.
And it's like
The-
weddings
Yeah.
cost so much. Like I don't know how much your
They
wedding
do.
costs, but and especially like I would like to do a wedding abroad. It's like
Yeah.
damn.
I feel like the solace that I get from that, like that type of thinking, and I kind of thought this for a pretty long time, is that everybody finds a way to get married. Everybody who like wants to finds a way to get married, no matter what their financial situation or like state is. And I don't know how they do it necessarily, but everybody does.
Yeah.
Somehow. Like everybody's having a wedding. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
so many of
That's
my
what's
friends.
interesting too, is everyone talks about how expensive weddings are, and then you go to people's weddings who maybe don't have what you think it costs. And
Yeah.
you're like, are people taking out loans for this?
Right.
Right.
It's like,
I
how
think
did
some
you
people
do
are,
this?
but-
I'm sure they are. Some people probably go into debt for it, and
A
like
lot
that's
of
not
people
ideal.
do,
But
yeah.
it's like
But
they figure
somehow
out a way.
they figure it
Yeah.
out.
you know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Like I've been to weddings where I'm like, I definitely remember y'all saying that y'all did not have money like last
Right.
month, and now we're getting married like on the
Yeah.
beach.
Yeah.
It's like whoa.
I think people need to remember that they should do what's right for them.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
at so many points, Noelle and I contemplated just like going to the courthouse.
Yeah.
Not, yeah, from a financial perspective. And I think that's why we waited so many years, because it was just kind of like, well, we have other things that we want to do in
Yeah.
our life
Yeah.
before just a one-day wedding. There's so many
Right.
things that like we need to get in order financially. But yeah, I think even when I was planning it, there's so many traditions and so many things that people do. Like I didn't get my rehearsal dress until like a day before, my shoes a day
Ooh,
before. Like I was
yeah.
thinking about it, and I was
Yeah.
ordering stuff and sending it back and trying stuff on. But so many of the traditions of what people do,
Mhm.
I did not follow. Like when I went to go get my dress, they were like, "Oh, you're getting married in October of 2022," and yeah. You think I'm here for October of 2023?
Yeah,
but that's
and
the
they do
norm.
think that.
They
yeah.
do.
That's
They
the
do.
norm.
How do I know what I'm gonna want to wear next year? How do
I
I know what
don't
my
know.
body's gonna look like next year?
Yeah.
Like I'm
Right.
just chilling here.
And so much of it is just traditions and
yeah,
and norm of like what is normal. And I definitely broke some of those by just doing my own thing and you know, picking our songs for, you know, the aisle and all of that, you know, a week before, and just doing stuff on the fly. And but there was some stuff that we tried to juggle and throw in because we wanted to do it.
Yeah.
And you don't know if you're gonna like those traditions or not until you do it. But basically what I'm trying to say is you have to do, I don't think it's right for people to get sucked into like the societal, like, this is what you have to do for a wedding. Like that, you will hate it. And what Noelle and I did was we picked and choose what we wanted from all the traditions to try to do.
As you should,
And you don't get a second chance, you know, to decide. So you just do it and you run with it. But so many people I know got married and then they look back and they go, oh my God, it was such a nightmare. Don't do it. You know, thank God it's over.
Oh,
what a waste.
Yeah,
you know,
that's not normal.
because it's so much money, it's so much time, so much effort, and it's just gone like that. So we chose to do a bunch of stuff that was right for us. So when we look back on it, it's amazing. It's everything we wanted, you know, and our expectations were obviously set appropriately. But I couldn't imagine doing something I didn't really want to do because of family pressure or just, oh, this is the kind of wedding I think I need to have. And spending that amount and
For
then
something,
looking back and going, oh, I wish I didn't do that.
Yeah, couldn't be me. Holy shit.
Woof, that would be tough.
If you
would be tough.
My thing is, if you don't really care, just elope.
Yeah.
You don't have to also do the whole thing. Like, do it when you want.
Right, exactly.
We got married technically.
Yeah, I was just
we couldn't get married in Italy legally because the paperwork just took too long and we didn't have that much time. So we got married legally here. And I wanted to do it before so that when the ceremony happened, it felt real.
Like it was, you already married. Yeah.
But we got married and we're like, well, that was kind of fun. We do still have a whole wedding though.
Like you still have the event.
But yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, at the end of the day, the wedding's just like
it's what
fun
you
party, you know,
that
like you
it's
can
supposed
do
to be a
whatever
celebration.
You want.
Celebration of love, a celebration of like
It
life,
really is,
like the rest of your life.
No
together.
right way
It's
to
like,
do it.
There's not a way to do it, I don't think, you know, but I do feel like a lot of people do put a lot of pressure on it. Probably, you know, familial wise, cultural wise, traditions wise.
Yeah.
Definitely difficult, but you should do what you want to do, I think, at the end of the day. You should do what you want to do.
I did mushrooms and I completely regretted planning the wedding. That was my main
Wait, really?
Yeah,
so like post wedding.
Before.
Oh, before. Okay.
I just was staring at the fireworks going, oh my God, did I make a huge mistake?
Wow.
Well, I should just back out. But like we had just put the deposit down on things and I was just going like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I'm such an idiot. We didn't need to do all this.
Whoa.
This is such a big mistake. I'm going to regret it. And I was panicking and then the next day when it, you know, I came back to life, I don't want to tell Noelle because what if he's like,
what if he agrees? Yeah. Worst case scenario. Yeah.
So we waited a few days and I told him and he goes, no, we did the right thing. And I was like, okay, thank God.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank God.
I'm glad that you said that though, because I feel like we have to normalize like
having doubts about things.
Doubts and regrets about
like,
things. Like things aren't supposed to be like, or things are not going to be like, oh, I'm perfect 100%, always happy, like all the time. That
people
isn't the
really
grounds for right.
portray themselves that way.
Yeah, especially with social media. It's like you're only seeing
I knew this is what I want. Like I knew this is what my wedding wanted and I knew the kind of dress I wanted. I knew this. I didn't know shit.
Right.
I was winging it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I
that's
went
life.
to try on a dress in one day.
Yeah.
That's all I had.
Which is crazy.
And,
that's like
and you
wow.
looked great.
And you looked fantastic.
Thank you.
I mean, so good. Like who would have known?
It was one of the best weddings. I mean, social media wise, it's one of the best weddings.
It was wonderful. I've never given a shit about weddings, but
gorgeous.
like these photos, I was like looking through all
whoa.
on Cassius's phone, like looking at the extras. I was like, I want to see all of them. Like
I was in it. I was involved.
Yeah.
I do know a lot about y'all. I was watching that shit. I remember when you said the ski mask thing. I was like, I was wondering what that is, and it's so funny now. With context.
I do now understand the ski mask thing.
That is hilarious. Oh my gosh, that was so beautiful. It was an amazing
so
ceremony. Very very happy for you guys.
Changed my opinion on weddings. I was like, you know what?
If y'all can do that, it's like I mean, and this conversation, I think, has also like kind
Yeah,
of
for sure.
made me feel like a lot more positively about. I wasn't never like against weddings for sure, but I wasn't looking forward to it either. Like I guess like y'all are saying, I wasn't like, oh, like one day like this is gonna be like the greatest day.
Right.
But now I'm kind
Now
of
it's like
thinking,
what
I'm
you
like,
make of it. So
whoa,
yeah,
this is
like-
this is probably a vibe.
cheesy, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That I got really pulled into wedding talk, and there was a lot of really cringy stuff that I saw.
Right.
Not cringy for them, but
For
cringy
sure.
for me. I was
Yeah.
just like, this is a whole world. There's a whole like level of traditions and stuff that I can't do. And so
yeah.
I think that almost put me off because
Yeah.
I was like, oh,
It's so
none
cringe, so much
yeah.
of it. Like,
So much of it.
yeah, just like I didn't have anyone walk me down the aisle or anything. I really do believe, and I think maybe younger me would have felt like I needed to do. Oh, I have to have someone walk me down the aisle. I
Yeah.
have to do a bouquet toss. I
That's
have
what
to
everyone
have
else does.
That's what everyone
bridesmaids.
does.
I have to do a bachelorette. Like
right.
I think it's so freeing not doing things that everyone
People
else
say you
does.
have
Right.
to, yeah.
Yes.
And being okay with that and not being like, oh, like I have to do this so like I can finally like fit in this one way. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like, yeah, just not caring.
I'm glad that that's where it seems like life or society is going. It's heading
Yeah.
towards like doing our own thing.
Yes.
I feel like we're coming out of an age of traditions and like doing things just because they feel right, and now we're kind of getting into a place of like we're doing what feels right to us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I think that's gonna
Finally.
make
I think,
a better humanity.
So, I don't, not to get all deep,
Mm.
but I feel like social media at the beginning was very uniform, and I feel like now we're coming into individuality, and everyone
Yes.
can
Yeah.
do what they want to do,
Yeah.
and it's way more authentic and just cool to
Yeah.
just do what you want. But yeah, I mean, even if you think about the stuff that you used to post on Instagram some years ago,
Yeah.
it's like what everyone else was doing.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah,
It was
it was
like,
very
oh, my
cookie
caption
cutter.
needs to look like this caption that I
Yeah.
like.
Yes,
You know what I'm saying?
Song
And now-
caption.
Right. I was doing
working.
songs. I was putting
like 10
lyrics,
Instagram
man.
filters, you know, like I
Yeah.
had Valencia on all of them.
Gingham.
Yeah, yep, you know.
Yep.
And it was so soul crushing when people didn't like it too. When people were
Yeah.
like, oh, this doesn't fit.
Because you
into
couldn't hide the
thing. You're
likes
like,
back then.
Oh yeah, you couldn't hide likes back then.
It's like
you couldn't have likes back then. I had a lot of haters who was like, "What does this lyric even mean?" Shut up. I was like, oh, come on, like,
Come on.
why are you even? You know what it's about. Like, we're
Like
posting
there's only
something-
12 people on Instagram. Like, you know I'm gonna see
come
this. We're
on,
gonna
like,
respond.
why
Like,
would
come
you even
on.
say that to me? Like, why even ruin my night? Because
Yeah,
that's
Might
insane.
ruin my night.
Yeah, that's fucked up of them. But you know,
Do you feel any different now that you're married?
I do.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Me and Noel, again, we just thought, yeah, whatever. But now, one, I felt so weird calling him my husband.
mm,
Really?
But now it feels so great. I think
Yeah.
I think when I think I wasn't ready, and so when I was younger, I think I've had a hard time growing up and like saying I'm an adult. Like I still joke around with my sister that I'm not an adult yet
mm.
because you just don't. I don't know. I think now I feel like an adult. I'm an
Yeah.
adult. I'm for sure
You
an
are-
adult.
You're an adult.
For sure.
But I don't feel like an adult. I think you learn something new every year.
Yeah.
And I think when you compare yourself to your parents who they had a child and they feel
Mhm.
so put together and they know how to do so many things and navigate.
Mm,
And I think I feel so unsure of everything that I'm doing.
mm.
Maybe that's just who I am. And because of that, I feel like I'm not an adult yet
Yeah.
because I don't know for sure and with confidence what I'm doing sometimes.
Right.
Yeah.
But why did I bring this up?
Because you
Mhm.
call Noel your husband now, and maybe you're getting some
Yes.
imposter syndrome. You're like, oh damn, like
Yes.
Like, yeah.
that's for
Now-
adults to say.
Yeah,
now
that's
I
what adults
feel,
will say.
but I feel ready for it
Yeah.
now
Yeah.
versus maybe 5 years ago. That thought of calling him my husband was like way too grown up for me.
Yeah.
Right.
But we could have easily been married 5 years ago,
Right.
you know.
Mhm.
But yeah, we definitely feel more connected now, which I
Mhm.
didn't think.
Yeah, I didn't
Something
think it would have
like
like
that
an
could do.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
think the experience of planning a wedding, not getting in, being on the same page about everything, not getting into arguments about things,
Mhm.
and then going through the experience and both coming out being like, wow, that was beautiful.
Yeah.
That was everything that we wanted it to be.
Yeah.
And now we have that shared memory. I think everyone that we went on the trip with, we feel closer to. But then obviously us, we got married. So I think we feel a little bit more bonded from
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. I think that grows you up too, experiencing new things, new parts of life. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
feel the same way about like being an adult. It's like oftentimes, and I feel like oftentimes like I'm putting like pressure on myself because I'm like, I don't feel like an adult, but I have to make all these adult decisions. And I'm like, if this decision is
Yeah.
wrong, I'm being an adult wrong. But
Yes.
I think being an adult is like actually becoming
Just
comfortable
making
with making a
decisions.
decision.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, you know, making a decision, living life the way that it is. You know what I'm
like
saying?
every time I get one of those, anytime I get a medical bill or those bills that say this is not a bill, but somehow
Somehow
Right.
it's a
sending you
bill.
something.
Sometimes
Yeah.
it's a bill.
I have to call my mom, you know, or
Like, what is
anytime
this?
anything around the house goes wrong and I don't know how to fix it, I have
Yeah.
to call my dad.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, am I an adult? Like
Yeah,
I should
yeah.
be able to. I should be able to figure this out. My
Yeah.
taxes. I should be able to
Yeah, I don't
figure
know
out my
shit about
taxes.
taxes.
Yeah,
I don't know
yeah,
shit
again, this
about
is-
taxes. We bring this up
we
every
bring this
episode.
up
I don't
every
know
episode.
shit
I
about
don't know
taxes.
shit
I have a
about
friend
that.
who's really good at taxes, and I FaceTime him every year to do
That's what
my
it's
taxes
supposed
for
to
me.
be though. Like it's community. Like,
Right.
That's
Yeah.
what being.
Right.
I feel like that's what
being an adult. Yeah, knowing
is.
who to call.
Yeah, knowing who to call
to
you know
help
what
you
I'm
do your
saying?
taxes.
You know,
is-
and sometimes that is your parents. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you have the ability to call your parents, and you calling them because you know they can do it
Yeah.
better than you can is an adult decision. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's a big deal. I feel like I just feel like everybody's got to put a lot less pressure on themselves. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying?
Yeah,
To-
just because you have to ask for help doesn't mean that you don't know what you're doing.
Right.
Yes. And just because you feel like you don't know what you're doing doesn't mean that you're a failure. You
Right.
know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like, that's just life. Nobody
Yeah.
really knows what they're doing with this.
Absolutely
you know what I'm
Well,
nobody
I
saying?
think
does.
social media makes you feel like everyone has their shit
It does.
together.
It really,
Yeah.
really does.
And we're trying to go in like a direction with social media. I feel like people are just being more
themselves,
down
yes.
to earth, whatever. To an extent, it's getting tough because then people are like still curating their like
Yeah.
candidness, and it's
Yes,
like, oh
yeah.
damn, well like my lazy day doesn't look like that, but it's not
Yeah,
actually like a
yeah,
lazy day
yeah.
for them, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
So it's
yeah.
like there's some nuance there, but
Yeah.
I still think overall it's a good shift.
Yeah.
It is.
in
I
social
feel
media, like-
very positive for the first time in the direction of the world. I
Yeah.
feel for the first time in many years, I feel very positive about the direction of where things are going. You know, in the
Wow.
world. But yeah,
Yeah.
the spring. I mean, yeah, life's good. Life
Life's
is
good, good people. around.
Congratulations
No, thank you,
Congrats
once
thank you.
again.
Thanks for talking to
this-
us.
yes,
I
thank
know you
for
have
being on.
several, or maybe like just a couple episodes of your podcast where you already talk about like your wedding and stuff. So go and listen.
Go
you
and
know, are we
listen.
still
Oh,
friends?
Thank you.
Check it
Podcast. You know,
out. Yeah.
19 more episodes than us.
19 more episodes than
So
us,
You
so-
watched us do the math.
Yes.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, of course.
And,
Thank you for
know,
coming.
Thank you so much.
I am Isaiah Washington.
I'm Maria Small.
And I'm Aleena, and I'm the host of the Are We Still Friends podcast.
Yes.
You can catch me on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and wherever you listen to your podcasts, and YouTube.
Thank you.
Bye.